need for a whistleblower.
No,
the whistle
was blown. Yeah.
It was blown.
Yeah, so
it was blown up.
Yeah,
it didn't exist anymore. There was no whistle to blow.
Not really. Yeah, and so that's why the whistleblower theory for me kind of falls flat.
Yeah.
I mean, also, who would he have been talking to? Obviously, the whistle was blown as far as the government knowing about it, so he would have been talking to somebody with the press, right, to out the government, which was not...
Which was obviously not making it really well known what they already knew.
Yeah, so if he was talking to a reporter, well, you think the reporter would have come, whoever it was, would have come forward and confirmed this, and nobody has, of course. Or maybe, on the other hand, maybe he went to the feds and just said, hey, there's all this stuff going on, not realizing National Lead had already been keeping them all apprised of all these issues anyway. So he contacts the Department of Energy and says, hey, you guys ought to know about what National Lead is doing at that plant, man. It's just crazy irresponsible. And the guy at the government says, yeah, let me get your name and address and everything. And then he calls the hit squad, the federal hit squad, and knocks him off.
Well, I guess
But again, why would you do that when it's already the case that, it's come out in public anyway?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a good sense of Dave's personality. I don't have the sense that he's this type of guy. But what if Dave was talking with other people about wanting to either, unionize or bring a class action lawsuit against? I mean, who knows what kind of sickness and contamination the workers were suffering from.
Well, yeah.
So had he been kind of talking about, hey, my doctor says I'm inhaling a lot of uranium and that's super unhealthy for me and I'm at high risk and we should probably try to get a settlement from the government and talk to the wrong person. I mean, that, if he was the kind of main person championing that. But again, he doesn't seem like the kind of...
He didn't seem like a troublemaker, but I don't think he did that because, again, Harry Easterling, his carpool buddy, didn't say Dave ever said anything about that to him.
But Harry...
I would stay quiet, too.
Harry also...
Harry also... I didn't know anything about that.
Also made a point of saying that Dave seemed to know his stuff about what was going on in the plants.
Yeah, he kept an eye on that stuff.
Yeah, and it was funny is that when you read it, it'll say, well, Dave knew, he would say, if you're working around this thing, stay away from its high radiation. If you're this, that. Well, but he maintained the stuff. So he, if it was something that, say, was one of those uranium dust bags, yeah, he totally knew it was because those things were always full because because they were always breaking. He would have had just general observational knowledge.
Well, and he could have been someone like me who is a little bit of a worrier and likes to...
You don't worry about anything.
I don't, you're right. But, I mean, somebody who likes to be a little more safety conscious and aware of their surroundings, whereas other people, you guys are good examples of this, are a little more prone to be like, let's just go do this thing and see how it works out. And I'm like, no. There's uranium in those pipes. And you guys are like, oh, okay, we'll stay away from
we'll
that.
put the Black Cat fireworks in there.
I can't smell no radiation. It's fine. Yeah.
I mean, I think there are just people like that in the world who are a little more aware and, we said he was safety-minded, so he might have been a little more...
He was. He probably went out
trying to look out for his fellow worker. But again, I don't think that necessarily he was actually championed some sort of...
No, nobody's reported that.
I don't think there was a good reason for him to have been murdered.
Well, somebody, no, not really. And also, if they had murdered him, it seems kind of self-defeating to push him into a furnace at the plant.
Yeah.
Well, and there's...
Because that invites scrutiny.
Well, the problem, of course, this story is a bit sensationalized because we've got Unsolved Mysteries in the mix, which seems to have inserted some details. But you've been looking at the court documents, and not all of that stuff is there.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, if you look at the Unsolved Mysteries, they note that piece of stainless steel wire that was looped in 3 circles.
Right.
In their video, they imply that the wire had been looped around his ankles.
And used to lower him in?
Yeah, the third loop was used for a hook on a heist, and so they could raise his body up and then drop it into the furnace. But the problem is no press accounts or court documents mention the stainless steel wire. It's only in the Unsolved Mysteries.
Suspicious.
Yeah. So from the Cincinnati Enquirer, I was able to find out the following things were found in the furnace: the keys to box toolbox, metal eyelets and toe plates from a pair of boots, other metal bits, and a few toe fragments. They weren't melted, but they found them. Right, the boots were gone. The metal was still there.
Right, so melted eyelets from boots, right?
Yeah, metal bits and bone fragments. There's nothing in there about loops of